going on, all you R.L. Stine enthusiasts? Your two favorite horror hounds are back tonight, and we're back to cover the entire first season of the Disney Plus Goosebumps series, written by Nicholas Stoller and Rob Letterman. We're talking about R.L. Stine's Goosebumps.
That's why all of this is happening to us. We have no choice. This ends now. It's time for them to learn the truth. Come with me.
That's right. If you guys remember, a few months back, we reviewed the first episode during 31 Days of Horror. Finally got around to finishing this season a few months later and getting back to talk about the first season with all of you.
So as we talked about in our review of the first episode, the first of this first season on Disney Plus, this takes a more older teenage years, from teenage years on. It's a more adult take of this franchise than we've seen as of yet, where it's been a younger audience that it's these books and the movies have been towards. This is a more mature approach, looking at it from teenagers, and then we have Justin Long's character, Mr. Brat. So it's a more mature Goosebumps than we're used to seeing, but it's incorporating all the goodness from those R.L. Stine books, and like you mentioned, with all the episode titles having to do with the books. Night of the Living Dummy, Go Eat Worms, Say Cheese and Die, Welcome to Horrorland. We're getting all these, awesome books and all the nostalgia, but it's really, taking it and making its own thing, dealing with all these different books. But it's basically in these 10 episodes, it's one continuous story with all these characters. You get to know a little bit about each one of the kids in each episode until it, builds up until the final episode, and it's all intertwined and integrated, all these kids. It's not just, following one kid this day and then a week later following another one. No, it's goes all from the first episode to the last episode. You have this evil that's been unleashed here on this town, and it all has to do with this house that Mr. Brat has inherited, called the Biddle House. And Mr. Brat, played by Justin Long, of course, as you can see in the poster behind Logan there. And the first episode, which we reviewed, Say Cheese and Die, it had to do with the Polaroid camera, where one of the kids, Isaiah, finds in the basement, and then he takes a picture, and, we go on from there, just like we know the story. But, as the episodes go on and on, we learn more about the kids, and we learn that their parents had something to do with the Biddle house and the fire, and what happened to the Biddle boy who ended up dying in a fire. And that's where some of the bad things and the evil things that are happening is coming from this haunted house, and specifically with this kid, Harold Biddle.
Essentially takes over their body, being Justin Long, and he's not the good old teacher anymore. He's like a really evil bad guy, and they kind of, kids band together. These are like the high school students, much like, Stranger Things meets Lock and Key meets Riverdale. And, with the backdrop of the Pacific Northwest, it really has that dark tone to it. And what you were saying earlier, more of a mature audience, teenagers and adults for this, compared to the books, which are aimed at, grade school level kids. Really, the story is that these kids really diving into to figure this out, having to do with the death of the student, and then that taking over people's bodies and doing some really bad things. So they're diving into weird stuff. Each episode, the backdrop is the title of, the R.L. Stine books, but it's not really the story itself. It's more the backdrop of it, which is really cool. I like how they did that. And, it's a continuous story trying to dive into this and all the bad things that happen in this town.
Yeah, I liked how they did this show. It could have been like each episode's like its own thing, but I liked how they kept it one continuous narrative that led into the other, and really gave you a chance to know each one of these kids, and I enjoyed all the performances here. The kids were great in this. I thought everybody did a really great job portraying these characters and what they were going through, trying to, go through high school with their relationships, and then having all this crazy stuff start happening with their parents. And eventually with this dummy Slappy, who we learn about his story and how he, became possessed basically. And this incantation that Mr. Brat reads kind of unleashes an evil towards the end of the season, and has to do with the Night of the Living Dummy. And eventually they think that they're able to get rid of this dummy and get rid of this curse that's been placed on them. And then that leads into the final two episodes, which gives you the backstory of how the dummy got possessed, and then ultimately leads into the resolution of this season and how these kids are able to move on and sort of go on from how much they've grown up in this time period of when these episodes take place. Each person leaves in a different place from where they started from. Some of the kids form stronger relationships. Some of the relationships are torn apart, and then we have some of the parents dealing with the trauma of what they went through when they were kids and now having their kids go through it. So it's generational trauma there too. So it's pretty good. It's, I wasn't anticipating anything too special from this, but after watching all the episodes, I was pretty intrigued and I would like to see another season from this. I hope we get more of this Goosebumps series and this more mature theme. It was pretty cool. And I liked how they integrated all the R.L. Stine stories into this season too.
I completely agree with you, my man. I went in with really low expectations. Had a great time with this season. The first two I was a little like, I don't know how this is going to be good or bad. And, it just got better and better. I thought the writing got stronger. The characters got stronger. The effects are hit or miss, but overall the narrative is really interesting. And I like the characters. I love Justin Long showing up in all the horror as of late, the past few years. I love him as an actor. And I thought he did a great job in this, kind of leading the kids, steering them in maybe the wrong way, wrong direction. But I thought he was really fantastic in this. All the kids that starred in this were really great. A lot of unknowns, people I haven't seen before, but I thought they were great. Parents in this were great. Some similarities, like I said earlier, to Stranger Things and Riverdale and Lock and Key, but on its own at the same time. And had a great time with this. Definitely, a series you'd want to watch during the Halloween season. Hopefully, they make another season because I would definitely watch it. So that being said, I'm going to give the first season of Goosebumps streaming on Disney Plus. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Justin Long hair pieces.
Yeah, ideally, definitely, I would have liked to have binged this within the first week during Halloween season. It was we just got overwhelmed there. A lot of stuff coming out at that time. Wasn't able to stick with it, which is why we're back now, finally finishing it because I just finished binging it after all this time. But I'm glad I stuck with it and gave it a chance. After the first episode, it gets continuously better, very interesting. And if you like Stranger Things, like you mentioned, and Riverdale and that kind of vibe, you're definitely getting here. And I liked what they did with the season, and I would like to see more. We haven't heard anything yet about a renewal, so hopefully we hear about that. Hopefully get some good news. We'll have to see about that though. But with that being said, I'm going to give the first season of Goosebumps streaming on Disney Plus. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 slappy hair pieces.
I want to hear from all you aspiring authors out there. What did you like about Goosebumps on Disney Plus? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite R.L. Stine book? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these wild ghouls on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews.
So thank you guys so much for watching our review of Goosebumps Season 1. We will be back if there is a second season of Goosebumps. We hope there will be. Halloween season. This is a fun show to binge. So thank you guys so much for watching our review of the first season of Goosebumps. And until the next Cinephellas TV review, I'm Uncle Henry Hill.
And I'm Uncle Justin Long, signing out until the next TV review.
Cheers!